Hi, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Today, I want to share a video with you about how I mask stamps. This particular image is by Rick St. Dennis, and it's called Billy Goldenbells Elf. I just copied him onto watercolor paper. I actually did it on watercolor paper because I wasn't sure what medium I wanted to use when I started. And then I decided I wanted to color him with colored pencils. So you can see that I had already started with my image already colored. And the second image that you saw me put on is one that I had colored prior and then decided I didn't like that one particularly. So I went ahead and cut it out and used it as my mask. So I laid the mask over the image that I had colored onto the paper I wanted to use. And now I am taping over that mask a stencil that I made, that I cut on my Cricut, using one of the Close to My Heart cartridges. I believe it is Artbooking, but if you'd like to refer back to my blog on this particular card, I'll make sure I list exactly where I found the cut for the stencil. I like to cut my stencils on acetate alternative by Duralar because I can wash them and I can reuse them. I am sponging in citrus leaf colored ink from Close to My Heart. I believe that particular color is retired. Probably the closest color to that now would be Sweet Leaf. But since I had citrus leaf and it just reminded me of a Mardi Gras bright green, I decided I would use that for this particular project. I believe that this image is probably intended for Christmas. However, I just thought he looked like a wonderful Mardi Gras sort of elf. And I thought with the stars, and I did him in purple and green and the Goldenbells, I thought he might work out nicely for a Mardi Gras project. So I'm continuing on, and I'm just rubbing right over that mask that I have placed over my image. And I'm continuing on, just filling in all the little circles and the little stars. I pick up my stencil every so often, moving it around, and just keep filling in all the little circles and stars. I had told you before that I use colored pencils to do little Billy's outfit. I actually did his face with Copic markers, and I colored his hair with a combination of colored pencils and Copic markers. So you'll notice that some of it looks very smooth, and then I also have some texture lines in there. So I'm sort of speeding things along here because you've seen me fill in these circles and stars here for a while. So you'll notice here that it's going by pretty quickly, and we're getting that all filled in. And you will see that when I remove this, I will have a full green background behind little Billy. So I have a few more to fill in, and there it is, all filled in. Somehow at this point, my camera must have turned off because I missed one step of just stamping a few little stars around. I used purple Close to My Heart thistle and just stamped some stars from a little unicorn set that I have. So I just actually inked up a few of the little star sections and just kind of sprinkled that around the card. Now at this point, I'm using Versamark, and I am stamping just little circles on there. And again, I'm using my mask, so it looks like these little circles are behind little Billy. What I was trying to replicate here are the gold Mardi Gras beads. So I'm using Ranger Princess Gold embossing powder with Versamark ink. So you see here I'm just replacing little Billy and I'm just stamping right off the edge there, and that makes it look like they're behind him. Again, I'm going to speed up the tape a little bit here. I actually can't stamp that fast. It'd be fun if I could, though. And since I've stamped the Versamark, I am now going to add some of my gold embossing powder. Now you'll see that I had some stick on some of the ink that I had put on prior. So I'm just using a paintbrush and I'm just cleaning that up a little bit. You'll notice it's sort of stuck on some of that green, so I had to sort of scratch some of that away. I probably should have waited a little longer and let that green ink dry, but I was in a hurry and I didn't. But it all worked out just fine anyway. I have to say, I had a great time with this background. Mardi Gras is such a fun time to just kind of go over the top and do some kind of crazy backgrounds that you might not normally do. And this was a great example of that, just pulling in stars and different shapes and purples and greens and gold, and it was just a really good time. So thanks for joining me today, and I can't wait to see what you do with your next background technique.